Jane. Welcome to live chat. Remember your privacy and about. I never read the community guideline. Well, I don't know. Maybe I did some of it. Um, how do you get that to move? It doesn't move. I think it moves when somebody makes a comment. I think that's how they do it. I was still sleepy. Well, I was. What? Why does it look like that? I'm trying to learn how this is counting. What? Oh, I see. That's a unique way of the way the little timer is up there. It's weird. Never seen that before, but maybe they need to fix that. Yeah, because that's not right. Anyway. Oh, I can do my dream series. Nice. Did need to do a dream. Let's see. Hmm. I think I should do this last dream I had because I might forget some details. So before I forget, yeah, I wish I would have called it Supernatural Dreams, but it's all good. Maybe I should start over now that I know what I want to do. um, so the dream I had last that was like supernatural or that seemed to have some sort of meaning. Um, so I was on this boat or ship, and I remember being on the phone with somebody, and it seems that they was my girlfriend in the dream, but and I remember walking, and maybe at one point I wasn't on the ship, but then I end up on the ship talking to her. I really want to start over and do the dream. I mean, do the yeah, so I can get right into it. I don't want to waste too much time. What's up, Teresa? What you and your little dog? Well, since you done said hi, I might as well continue now. The intro just gonna be messed up, but I'm sharing this supernatural dream. I might as well finish now. What's up, Kenneth? What you mean in my solo? I mean, like in this room, ain't nobody in here with me. What you mean? Well, I guess I'll finish the dream, y'all. So look, I was on the phone with in my dream. It represented somebody I was with. So I was on the phone with my girlfriend in the dream, and then I ended up getting on this ship. And I remember like being in this room, and all of a sudden the room was like tilted like horizontally, and I knew the comic. What do you mean the comic? But I remember like the room all of a sudden was tilted like horizontally. And I knew I needed to get off the ship because I knew that yeah, I believe you. I believe you. I'll tell you why I believe you, Kenneth, after I finish. So I knew I needed to get off the ship because I felt or and thought that it was gonna sink because of the way the room was tilted. So I'm like, let me hurry up and get to the top. So I'm going to the top. I hope y'all can hear me good. So I'm going to the top and I'm trying to get up there fast. And I remember getting up there to the top, and the people who was in charge of letting everybody know what's going on, they didn't report anything to us. If you didn't get off that ship on your own, you just wasn't getting off. Cause when I got up there, I saw they was like basically docked, but they was trying to leave. So imagine you think that the ship is gonna sink and you need to get off because of safety reasons, and they trying to keep it from the people and not tell you what's going on and just um undock, if I'm saying it properly, and just go back into the water and keep going. Like it was stuff like that going on. So I get up there and I see like a few people was already off the ship and they was mad, but nobody was talking when I got up there. But you can see I saw a few black people sitting down and they was mad. You can tell they was angry. And so I was at the point where I'm walking on the edges of the ship where I could see like, okay, can I jump to land? Because we was that close to land, and I'm trying to jump over there, but I ain't want to, mess up and not jump properly. So I got to a good spot, and I jumped off over to the other side where the people was already at that was mad, and you can tell they had been arguing or something. Them and like maybe the captain of the boat and maybe some other people that was on the ship still. So I jump off on the land. I'm walking on the land and I'm looking for my girlfriend in the dream. And so I start walking away, and the people on the ship, they were starting to undock and I think pull the anchor up or whatever and get ready to go back into the water away from the land so nobody could get off. So whoever didn't get off wasn't gonna get off if they didn't get off at that time. So I'm gonna read everything y'all saying too real quick, cause them comments is coming in. Kenneth says to get maybe you meant off because you just put one F, but if I read it as is, to get of the ship you have to come out of the closet. What? Are you trying to say I'm gay? Or are you talking about like that kind of closet where people come out the closet like they're gay? I don't know what you're talking about. But then somebody named Fiber says, when was this? Sorry, I just got in a minute ago. The dream was maybe a week ago or almost a week ago. So this dream is one of my newest dreams that actually had a meaning to it. So I get off the ship and I'm walking to find my girlfriend who I was on the phone with. Now, as I'm walking diagonally away from the ship, I see these two ladies going in the area to get on the ship, and one of them is arguing. Um, she's loud, kind of loud. You can tell she's talking trash. I don't know to who or what about, but you can hear her. And the other one is just kind of walking with her, not too loud. And I noticed one of them represented my sister, my actual blood sister. So I say her name, and I said, she turned back and looked at me. I said, "Hey, don't get on that ship." I don't know what all I said because I'm forgetting parts of the dream now. But I told her that that ship's finna drown or it's finna sink. It's finna drown, but it's finna sink. Don't get on there. I made it sound like she shouldn't get on that ship, so she didn't get on. She turned and she came back walking towards me. Her and the girl she was with. Because if they had got on that ship, I don't know what would have happened. They probably wouldn't have got off. So I woke up and I told my mom. I wasn't even gonna tell her the dream because I didn't think the dream really had anything serious about it. You know that because I didn't really think because in reality, okay, we can break down the dream and y'all can give me y'all interpretation too. But in reality, I don't have a girlfriend. So I was like, okay, to that part, I wasn't really worried about because that didn't make sense to me. But then my sister did make sense. Like the only thing that I could get out of that part was because when I was telling my mom, I was like, "Mom, guess who I dreamt about?" And then I ended up telling her who, and then the dream. So I told her the dream, and when I told her the dream, I didn't even say that I had a girlfriend in the dream. I just told her I was on the phone with somebody, because to me, it didn't really matter that I had a girlfriend in the dream because in reality I don't. So what's the point? But I kept that part out. And I also kept the part out when I got off the boat, who I was looking for, which was my girlfriend in the dream, because it didn't make sense to me at the time. But of course, now it does. So the only thing I could figure out was when I told my sister not to get on the ship because it's finna sink, and she didn't get on the ship, and she was walking with somebody and arguing about something. It was it made me think like maybe something is about to happen where I can warn my sister to not go do this or get on that or take this trip or some journey or do something to where it could be, excuse me, like a disaster or something that can harm her seriously. I don't know entirely, but that's just what comes to my mind. So maybe it's something that I can avoid or help her avoid in the future. That's pretty much all I could really interpret because once again, at the time, I don't have a girlfriend. And it was like nobody was about to be a girlfriend for me at that time. Now tell me why about it. After I have the dream, something starts to happen where it seems like I started to fall for somebody who I already knew for a while, been talking to him, but not talking to him on that level. I'm gonna read what you said too in a minute. But we just wasn't talking on that level. Like I had no plans of trying to pursue her in that way. It was always on a biblical, spiritual level. Never thought about. Well, I don't want to say never thought about going in that direction. I just never. I always tried to avoid it. Let's put it that way. So anyway, let me read what you said and catch up with everybody. Leticia, what's up, Leticia? What is what does the rocha mean? Rocha, if you know rocha. Okay, I read that part, so I gotta read that one and that one. Okay, let me catch up with y'all. Okay, so Leticia says, wait, what are you talking about? Okay, Leticia, my bad. I don't even know if you're still here, but if you are, let me know. I'll explain. And before I do, let me read Fiverr's comment, and then I'll be all caught up with y'all. I think. Oh darn, no. Actually, y'all said about 6 more things. So wait, y'all gotta let me catch up. Okay, this one from Fiverr says, "Do you usually remember your dreams this vividly?" No, not all of them, but the only reason I remember this one is because when I woke up that day from having it, I saw my mom in the kitchen, and I immediately kind of said, "Hey, mom, guess who I dreamt about?" And then she said, "Who?" And I said, my sister's name. And then I started to tell her the dream. So I'm just waking up to this, telling my mom the dream. So when you wake up and you tell the dream to somebody, or you record it by audio, or you write it down immediately, you can remember it better. But if you don't do that, you got a certain amount of time before that dream starts to fade away, and then you're not gonna remember it. So no, I don't always remember them, but this one I actually told my mom so I could remember it, and now it's starting to fade away because I didn't write it down, and I didn't record it by audio. So I'm letting y'all know before I forget the details. So you also said, I can relate. If so, this does sound profound. I find deep meanings in my dreams often too. Have you tried dream journaling? Yes, but I've lost a huge portion of my dreams because I just moved out and I'm back living with my grandma. And somewhere along the way, I don't know what happened. Like I had a whole what's that thing called? File cabinet. Um, I don't think I'm saying it properly, but I had a file thing with all my dreams, just dreams. And I've been collecting them for years, like over a decade or about a decade, and I lost a big portion of it when I moved. I don't know what I did. I must have threw it away by accident. I don't know why I would have done that. Because I really wanted to do this dream series and talk about these dreams and hear y'all dreams and the supernatural dreams y'all got and interpret them, but that was my mistake. So yeah, I did keep up with them, but I just lost a lot of them. So I got to go by memory on a lot of them now. Now to catch up with Leticia, if you're still here, you said, "What are you talking about?" Okay, I still got to catch you up if you're still here. Question mark. Sorry, Leticia. One moment. If you're still here, breaking down a dream he had recently. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Fiverr, because I'm just catching up. Leticia, let me know if you're still here. And Fiverr says, sometimes I feel dreams are a glimpse into a possible future reality, like especially when I get deja vu in waking life. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so Leticia, what was going on was, are you still here, by the way? Do I need to recap the whole dream for you real quick? Because if you go on, I want to recap it and you go, you know what I mean? But um, so Leticia, if you can, let me know if you're still here. But I will say this: so within about a week, I've been getting these feelings, and this lady who I've been telling y'all about keeps popping up in my mind. I'm like, why is she popping up in my mind more like this? And it's unusual. And then day by day, and I'm wondering, I need to pray about this because I don't know what to do about this. And then I read a scripture in one of the books that Paul wrote, where he say, you should thank God when somebody comes up in your mind, or like when a saint comes up in your mind, I forget. And I'm like, oh, okay, I never thought to do that. So I started to do that. And then, but she comes up a lot in my mind. I'm like, okay, well, let me just pray about it. So I prayed about it. And then, yeah, things just started to change between me and this person. Not like a lot, but things are changing. And it seems that the direction is going to go, either we're going to be boyfriend, girlfriend, husband and wife in the future, or we're gonna something is gonna hinder us, and we're not gonna do that because that's about where it's at. But that's kind of, so it's like that person in my dream at the time. It was, I didn't have a girlfriend in the dream, but in reality, it was somebody who I knew, who I was in communication with here and there. That this dream could have been it's my nephew. I ain't got no cover on this boy, but he's recovering from sickness. But what was I talking about? The lady, future maybe, something like that. So it could have been showing me somewhat the future, like I will have a girlfriend in the future. But yeah, I mean, I have dreams like that kind of often. Not exactly like that, but it's always somebody here and there that I'm with. But in reality, I'm not with anybody. Like, oh, I guess she represented my girlfriend. But I don't know. This one was kind of different. But yeah. So I'm gonna just recap it real quick in case Letitia is here. I wish I could see more information on this phone, but I can't see nothing. This live stream is trip. They don't really give me a lot of info about the live stream like I want. I don't know why. Flip, lightning, retouch. What does this do? Community. Yeah. Okay, I'm just trying to go through these settings. So the recap of the dream is I was on a boat or ship. Wait, before I was on a boat, I think I was walking somewhere and I was on the phone with a girlfriend, or my girlfriend in the dream. And then I remember being on a ship in a room, and all of a sudden I'm still on the phone with my girlfriend. And then I remember the the room was like tilted horizontally. And so I knew that the ship was about to sink or something bad was about to happen. So I'm like, let me get off this boat. So I hurry up, try to go to the top so I can get off before it start, sinking. I get to the top, and the people who are, the captain of the boat and the people who are responsible for like letting people know something's gonna happen, they don't say anything. It's no warning. And when I get up there, I can see a few people off of the boat who seem to have been on the boat. It was a few of them that was off of it already, and one of them was sitting down, and you can tell that they had been arguing because a few of them was looking mad. And when I got up there, nobody was really saying anything. And then so the boat was kind of close to the land, where you could just walk to the edge and kind of jump off to the other side, and you would be on land. So it was like they was kind of docked in a way, but when I got up there, they was about to undock, if I'm saying this properly, and take off again back into the waters. And then, so I walked to the edge of the boat, and I was like trying to find a good spot to jump over on the land to. I didn't go down a little ramp. I didn't. I forgot to even bring that up. Or a little walkway, stairs, nothing. I just jumped off. I just jumped over onto land, and then I started walking away, and I remember looking for my girlfriend. That's why I was looking. That's who I was looking for. But as I was going in that direction to look for her, I remember seeing two ladies walking towards the ship, and one of them was kind of loud, arguing about something. And when I looked at them, one of them was my sister, my actual blood sister. So I called her name. And I said, I think I need some lip balm. But anyway. And I said, don't get on that ship. It's finna sink or something like that. You don't want to get on that. And she didn't get on the ship. She turned around and started walking towards me. And then I woke up. But I was giving my interpretation at the time. The girlfriend in the dream didn't make sense because I currently don't have a girlfriend. But the other part, um, where I said about my sister, something in the future might happen where I might be able to tell her not to do something and she might not do it that is or could be fatal or dangerous. And she might be able to avoid disaster or something like that based off what happened. That's the only part that I thought, I could interpret because I don't have a girlfriend in real life, so that didn't make sense to me. I didn't think to really pay that any attention. So, but days later or some time later within the same week, something started to change with me and the sister. Now I'm recapping the interpretation. Me and the sister that been speaking back and forth here and there, here and there, where it seems like we are about to go in that direction where we could be boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, and wife in the future. But before that dream, there was nothing like that, so I didn't think nothing of that. But that's it. I went over the dream twice and the interpretation twice that I have. So yeah, mm, I didn't title this video properly because I didn't expect to go over a dream, a supernatural dream, but I did want to throw one in there this week, but I didn't get to. So that one's out of there. I don't know what to call it though. I guess I can just call it Supernatural Dream 2 or Supernatural Dream Series 2. Something like that. I'll figure it out. I don't know. But I don't want to keep this video too long about that particular dream. I think everybody else is done too. So yeah, that was perfect. Kinda. I'm still sleepy. That's the reason I did the video to wake up. And I'm still sleepy. Alright, y'all. I'm out of here. Peace be to the saints. And maybe in the future, we can all talk about our dreams. Some of the same people that came today. Yeah. Because I like talking about supernatural dreams. I don't mind hearing y'all's either. Yeah, we can even try to interpret y'all's too. Or maybe y'all already know the interpretation. And y'all can share y'all's. Alright, I'm out of here.